Hi guys, Merry Christmas. I am officially up here in Toledo, Ohio in short sleeve shirt and it is not cold. I come up here for Christmas hoping it would be really cold up here and we'd have some kind of like snow maybe on the ground. No. No. No snow whatsoever. So I figured, it is comfortable enough. I could probably come out here and tell you guys the story of how I got my car. Story goes, let's backtrack till I was about 15 years old. All right. 15 years old, my dad tells me, all right, son, I know you're going to be wanting to drive here pretty soon. So what we're going to do is we're going to start looking for a car for you. I'm thinking these are the golden words I'm waiting for. He's going to buy me a new car. New car. Those two words don't go together when you're 15 years old. Unless you got, parents that don't mind dropping $20,000 on a brand new car. It'd be new to me, but no, that's not the case here. So what ended up happening was my dad said, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you a $1,000 allowance. So the $1,000 is going to be going toward the new car that you're going to get, or your first car. All right, fine. So I went online, not online. God, they didn't have online back then. No, I went to all the newspaper tabloids, and I'm just looking through all the newspapers. Green Sheet, I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with that. If you're not, then, well, just look through the newspapers. You'll find them. They got the ads of people selling their cars on the newspapers. That's how they used to do it back then. Craigslist did not exist. I think the only thing that really existed that still exists today is probably Auto Trader. I even looked through Auto Trader. So it kind of tells you how old I am. So anyway, internet didn't exist at that point, for searching online, and then and I had to look for cars through the newspaper. So that's where I was at. I'm sitting there searching and searching and searching, never found anything. Well, my uncle, he works for Verizon, right? Let me sit on the hood. My uncle works for Verizon, and he was out doing his work, and he went out to, where was it? Out to Delta. It's a little bit further south of here. It's like Maumee area, if you guys look at the map. And he climbed poles for Verizon to, work on the telephones and stuff. So he's up there, and as he's passing to go to his job site, he sees this car up on a hill on a farmer's field. Okay, over by the interstate. So after the job, he finishes, he goes back over to that property and takes a quick look at the car. He says, you know what? This is actually a pretty nice car. I wonder if Junior, me, would be interested in an old car. I said, okay. So he gives my dad a call. My dad says, okay, I'll pack up the boy and see if Junior wants to come out here and check out this car. Mind you, at the time, I had no idea what was going on. So I hop in the truck with my dad. We go out to Delta, and we pull into this uphill driveway. And the farmer, he's out there talking to my uncle, and my dad walks over. We pull up, and I see the car, but it got my attention, but I didn't pay much attention to it because I don't know what we're out there for. I'm thinking we're gonna be moving some stuff or buying something else, or we always do that kind of thing. So we're sitting there talking with the farmer, and I asked my dad, I said, you mind if I wander around? I want to go check out that car. He said, okay. So that was the purpose. They didn't know how I would react to it, but their predictions are right. I was interested in the car. Come over here, looked at it, walked around, checked it out. It was very well kept. I mean, it was just fantastic. Nothing like it is now. It needs help at this point. But I'm looking at the car, and the farmer comes out there with some keys, and He opens up the door and I hop inside. My uncle gets in the passenger seat. I get in the driver's seat and I'm looking. I'm like, man, this is an amazing machine. This is a beautiful car. For sale sign was on the front. I didn't see that at the time. So my dad asked me, he said, you like this car? I said, sure do. He said, would you drive it? I said, all the time, yeah, I love this car. But what are we really here for? that's pretty much my mentality, you know, and I didn't even know anything about it. So my dad, he struck a deal with the farmer and said that, all right, well, I'll go ahead and sell it to you for the whopping price of $740. $740, guys. I mean, it doesn't look like it's worth it now, but $740. Hold on. Yeah, it doesn't look like it is $740, but back in the day, it was just a wonderful car. It was very clean, almost no rust on the front part of the car. On the very back, it looked bad, but which you guys have already seen in another video. Now, my uncle, he hops in there with me, and he has to drive. I can't drive it. We started up. It runs a little rough at first, so we start, boogieing down the highway, and you can clearly hear the engine needed help. It was running on 5 cylinders out of 6. So we managed to get it back to the house, this one, and I park it in that middle garage. All right, we pull it into the garage, and then my dad says, "Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get this thing back on the road and working." Now I'm 15 years old. I can't drive to school because I'm still working on my temps. So during that time, my dad and we take the hood off of this. I mean, this is in bad shape. This really is. I think the hood's gonna have to be completely replaced. But we took the hood off, and me and my dad tore apart this whole engine, and I rebuilt everything in here. Everything in here. This is the engine that I learned how to build engines with, and it ran like a dream, guys. It did. So this car was definitely something for me to cherish. This has got some serious sentimental value to me. If y'all ever seen the movie Christine by Steven Spielberg, that's kind of how I felt about the car. Nobody could mess with me in my car, that kind of thing. But here she sits, guys. It's been 17 years she's been sitting here. And when I turned 18, I was 17 years old, I think, is when I got my license. And once I got my license, I was able to drive this everywhere I had to go. When I had to go to work, I worked for FedEx Ground. When I went out on my first date in this thing, a girl named Courtney Walker, and she was fine. Woo. I had my first date, and her dad even liked me simply because I showed up in a classic car. He liked it. I had my first drag race in this car, which I won against somebody else in another Chevelle with a V8. A V8. I got a 6. Come on, guys. But I won all 3 times with my date in the car. So before I was even 18 years old, I already won my first street race. And my goals are to get this car back down to Houston, go over the whole thing, get this thing road ready again, and hopefully I can share more history and more stories with you guys. So, but anyway, that's it. Oh, by the way, the car's name, yes, the car's name is Joselynn. Yes. And you're probably wondering how I got that name. Well, it's quite simple. I used to work as an usher up at the Holland Super Cinemas over here, but it's not there anymore. I found out it's tore down. I used to work as an usher up at the movie theaters, and the movie Knight's Tale came out, and the girl that was on there, her name was Joselyn. In my opinion, that girl was fine. I thought, girl with that looks like that, beautiful, with a beautiful name like that, I'm gonna use that name. I'm gonna name my car. So, well, this is Joselyn, guys, and I'm glad you guys had the chance to meet her. Time to go eat. See you guys later.